We're in it, gang. A historic shift is unfolding all around us. The fall of globalism, the rise of a new conservative age, and I explain exactly what's happening and why in my most important book yet, America Awakened. This book gives you the full picture, how we got here, what it means, and what you need to know to be on the right side of history. So don't wait. Go to americaawaken.us and join the early access list today. The next chapter has already begun. Imagine if I told you Israel just pulled off the most audacious military operation in decades, all the while Donald Trump quietly stopped World War III with a single phone call. This isn't a Tom Clancy novel. It's happening right now. Stick around because what you're about to hear will change how you see the entire Middle East chessboard. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, giving you the information and knowledge you need to rise up above and beyond what the legacy media will not tell you. And there's something else they're not telling you. While corrupt federal elites have been quietly building wealth through cryptocurrency, hardworking American patriots have been left behind. But there's an amazing solution. I want to tell you about Block Trust IRA. They're bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to real Americans. You all know I'm a big fan of crypto. It's supercharging President Trump's America First economic miracle, and now you can be a part of it. I partnered with Block Trust IRA because their mission perfectly aligns with President Trump's Make America Great Again agenda, smashing down the barriers between loyal patriots and the financial freedom they deserve. Their Animus AI trading platform works 24/7, analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that are beyond simply buy and hold, helping true American patriots build impressive wealth in Trump's historic economic boom. There's a reason their system was named the #1 crypto technology platform by Bitcoin Magazine from over 1,500 global competitors. So whether you're a teacher, a truck driver, small business owner, or retiree watching inflation eat away your 401k, Block Trust IRA's advanced Animus AI gives red-blooded Americans the same advantages as those coastal elites. Right now, their clients are seeing over 250% returns on their investments. You heard that right, 250% returns. And with military-grade security, investments are protected by up to $200 million in insurance. So what are you waiting for? Visit TurleyTalksCrypto.com. That's TurleyTalksCrypto.com and find out how they can help you join the Trump Crusade financial revolution that's finally giving forgotten Americans access to the greatest crypto wealth opportunity in history. For a limited time, they're offering my viewers up to $2,500 in bonus crypto when you open an account. This is amazing. Do not wait on this. Crypto created 80,000 new millionaires last year. Why not you next? Visit TurleyTalksCrypto.com. That's TurleyTalksCrypto.com. Making retirement great again. On June 13, 2025, Israel executed Operation Rising Lion, a precision strike destroying 80% of Iran's nuclear infrastructure in just 72 hours. Moreover, they didn't just bomb reactors. They eliminated 9 top nuclear scientists, including Mohammad Mehdi Taranchi, the Einstein of Iran's uranium enrichment program. But here's what's so chilling. They weren't random hits. We now know that the Mossad, Israel's national intelligence agency, had been cultivating assets inside Tehran's Revolutionary Guard for the last 18 months. Their target list read like a who's who of Iran's nuclear mafia, men whose deaths set the program back decades. And it didn't stop there. In a coordinated Sunday night strike, Israeli F-35s eliminated 4 senior Iranian intelligence officials, including Mohammad Kazemi, Iran's Revolutionary Guard intelligence chief since 2022. Now, we're getting word that as Israel was raining fire in their initial attack, Washington dropped a political neutron bomb. Multiple sources confirm Trump personally vetoed an Israeli plan to assassinate Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei. So Trump is reported to have said something akin to, look, Bibi, you want to take out their nukes? Beautiful. Love it. But often the Ayatollah, no way. That's how we end up getting Marines in Baghdad 2.0, and I don't want that. So this is being widely reported, and I think that's very strategic because what Trump is doing here is he's trying to position the United States as a leveraged mediator between Israel and Iran. So Trump has made it clear that he's not going to allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but, and this is key, he wanted to work out a deal. He wanted that elimination of their nuclear program to be the result of a mutually beneficial deal that would make Iran, frankly, very rich. In fact, before Israel's strike, it looked like Trump was on the cusp of striking what's called a JCPOA, or a Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action with Iran. And Trump is signaling that he wants to see this ultimately resolved with a deal, not with a death, not with war. So in effect, he's getting both of what he wants. He wants a non-nuclear Iran, but he doesn't want that coming ultimately from war, but rather from a deal. And so this olive branch he's extending is supposed to give Iran a way out of this. Now, in the meantime, of course, Iran is striking back, and they're striking rather hard. No question, Iran has fired approximately 350 ballistic missiles at Israel across multiple ways since the conflict began. Israeli Defense Forces reported that Iran launched over 280 ballistic missiles and several barrages through Sunday alone, with additional strikes continuing into Monday. Now, of course, Israel's got the Iron Dome, but it's not able to shoot down every single missile coming in. So a number got through. And in addition to ballistic missiles, Iran launched over 100 drones at Israel in the initial phase of retaliation. But in terms of those drones, Israeli air defenses did successfully intercept these drone attacks. Those are the reports, with none entering Israeli airspace during the first wave. Regardless, as noted, several ballistic missiles did make it past the Iron Dome. And so as of June 16th, today, Iranian strikes have reportedly killed upwards of 24 people in Israel and wounded nearly 600 others. Now, what's key here is that Iran's retaliation is not necessarily limited to Iran. Iran has developed extensive proxy alliances throughout the region, right? What's known as the Axis of Resistance. So this is a network made up of Hamas, Hezbollah, various Iraqi militias, the Houthis in Yemen. But the reports are that these proxies have been significantly weakened. So, particularly with prior Israeli strikes. So there doesn't look like they're going to be able to muster a formidable challenge to Israeli forces anytime soon. What is concerning is Iran's making good on their threat to close off the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz, if you don't know, represents one of the world's most critical energy choke points, with approximately 20% of global oil consumption and nearly 1/3 of all seaborne oil passing through its narrow waterway daily. So for the United States, the strait's closure would end up triggering an immediate invocation of what's called the Carter Doctrine. It's established in 1980, and it declares that any attempt by any outside force to gain control of the Persian Gulf region will be regarded as, quote, an assault on the United States of America, and will be repelled by any means necessary, including military force. So the United States would likely implement a comprehensive military and economic response designed to immediately reopen this critical maritime choke point. The United States reaction would most likely be very swift, very decisive, very multifaceted, drawing upon decades of strategic planning and historic precedent from similar crises in the Persian Gulf. And that appears to be precisely what Israel is trying to trigger here with these attacks. This is what's so concerning to the geopolitical analyst John Mearsheimer of the University of Chicago. He sees Israel, specifically Netanyahu, in a very desperate situation right now. And that desperation is they're trying to reshape Middle Eastern dynamics by deliberately drawing the United States deeper into this conflict. Now, Mearsheimer argues that Israel has deliberately engineered what he calls a trap for Trump. We have yet to see if Trump will actually, fall for this trap. But Mearsheimer argues that this operation is a trap intended to ensnare both Iran and the United States in a broader regional war. So for Mearsheimer, Israel's ultimate objective goes way beyond security concerns vis-a-vis Iran's nuclear capabilities. Netanyahu wants regime change, and he knows he needs the United States forces to achieve that. And Mearsheimer's thesis is predicated on the near collapse of Israel's strategic doctrine of escalation dominance. Okay, so thus far, Israel has responded to attacks by Hamas and Hezbollah with disproportionately greater force, thereby deterring future aggression. And while this approach has historically served Israel well, Mearsheimer's noted that Israel's doctrine of escalation dominance has failed thus far to shut down the conflicts that Israel's experiencing on multiple fronts right now. So it's primarily three fronts, right? Gaza, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Lebanon, and Iran. And what this failure to shut down these three fronts has done is it signals a fundamental shift in regional power dynamics that undermines Israel's traditional deterrence strategy. And without this deterrence strategy, obviously Israel sees itself as very vulnerable. And that vulnerability is playing out in this multi-front war against Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Iran. And this multi-front war is simply unsustainable for Israel long term. It's a strategic overextension that Israel cannot resolve through military means alone. And so a key way out of this is to bring in another actor who can provide precisely that kind of escalation dominance that Israel no longer can. And of course, for Israel, that would be the United States of America. And so how does Israel drag the United States into this conflict and provide that escalation dominance? By getting Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz in retaliation, which would in turn trigger the Carter Doctrine and draw U.S. forces into this conflict. And so there's a whole geopolitical chessboard being played out right before our eyes. So with that said, then where are we? Well, the reports about Trump making that 3 a.m. call and calling off Israel's plan to assassinate the Ayatollah is huge because it suggests that Trump is staying true to his Trump doctrine, which is to get nations to capitulate to Washington's demands, but without regime change. Right? He's not interested in Iraq 2.0 or anything even akin to that. And of course, practically speaking, Trump simply does not have the political support here at home to do anything like that. We talked about this on our live stream last Friday. Rasmussen polling shows that 84% of Republicans side with Trump on Iran not getting a nuclear weapon, right? So that's almost unanimous. That's huge support. But, and this is key, but they have no interest whatsoever in any kind of direct military intervention on our part. And that's frankly the dilemma that Trump is in. His base is near unanimous in their support in stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, but they do not want, under any circumstances whatsoever, another major military conflict for the United States in the Middle East, period. So that said, it appears that Operation Rising Lion is resolving, at least in part, that dilemma for Trump. But, and again, this is key, Netanyahu has his own dilemma, which is this multi-front war with Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran, that it appears, at least now, it appears impervious to Israel's past doctrine of escalation. And so Netanyahu wants to trigger the Carter Doctrine to get the United States involved directly, even though, of course, Trump has no political support for that here at home. That is the geopolitical chess match that appears to be playing out, and we'll see how all sides respond in the days ahead.